So we've been watching the episode Free for All in the series called The Prisoner, shown in 1967 to 1968. Number 6, on your right there, Patrick McGowan, has agreed to run for office. And he's just about ready to meet the paparazzi.
Congratulations.
Come again.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am number 113, and this is my photographic colleague, number 113B. We contribute to the local newspaper, the Tally-Ho, you know.
Right on.
This is red-hot stuff, you know. Haven't had a candidate of your caliber for ages.
Congratulations.
How are you going to handle your campaign?
No comment.
Intends to fight for freedom at all costs. How about your internal policy?
No comment.
Will tighten up on village security.
Smile.
How about your external policy?
No comment.
Our exports will operate in every corner of the globe. How do you feel about life and death?
Mind your own business.
No comment.
Okay, so it's quite a commentary on the print media. Now the same would apply for the visual media. All mass media is completely controlled. In the United States, all mass media is in the hands of like 6 or 7 major corporations. And not only is all media in the hands of 6 or 7 corporations, but all mass media is under a board of directors appointed by the President of the United States, according to the Smith-Mont Modernization Act, whereby all media is completely screened by the government for government purposes. Now that's the thing that people cannot get a handle on. That they think that what they see on television is some independent source that has their health and well-being in mind. But the truth of the matter is, everything that's shown to the public is carefully scripted and carefully screened, and the screening process comes through experts in propaganda. Smith-Mont Modernization Act, Section 1078, NDAA 2013.
Polling number 6. Polling number 6.
Read all about it. Read all about it. Get your election edition now. Read all about it. Get your election edition now.
So, number 6 speaks his mind. And basically all he said was no comment. In other words, the so-called press is not free. It writes what it's told to write. In all honesty, the press has never been free in the United States. But it's especially bad right now because they've openly proclaimed that propaganda is 100% legal. You know, that's Rover, and Rover is kind of like the muscle power. The big white weather balloon is Rover, the guardian of the village that does all the get everybody back in line stuff. Now number 6, it has to go to this council or this assembly.
Calling number 6. Calling number 6.
Okay, the gavel pounding, that's the legal system. Now remember, there's a difference between legal and lawful. The only thing that anybody's exposed to or has access to is the legal. And it's all a fraud. The lawful you never get to, and you never will. There's many people out there that give you all this baloney. You need to buy back your name and all this malarkey. And then you won't have to pay taxes. You won't have to have a license plate on your car. And they're going to laugh and laugh and laugh at you, just like they laughed in the village when he says, "I'm a free man." And they laugh. Or in this episode, "I'm a person." And they laugh. Because there's no relief. Don't listen to those BSers, those shills that want you to do stupid things. And when you do something stupid, then the system profits even more.
Not that way. Nor that. Straight ahead. Now. Good shot. Come ahead, my dear fellow.
Okay, what I find interesting is that they're down in the basement like. That he's got to go down. Down into the depths of hell. With all these demons.
You are formally welcome to this gathering as a prospective opposition candidate. Kindly approach the center desk. Play the game.
And now remember, it's all about controlled oppositions. Okay? In other words, you're going to be controlled opposition whether you want to be or don't want to be. And then, of course, Patrick McGowan, or number 6, and say, who, according to Hoyle. And remember, he was the one that established rules for games. And that would have been in the about 1741, somewhere in there, that he wrote a book, How to Play Whist. And if anybody says according to Hoyle, then that means the rules to do it right, properly.
According to Hoyle.
According to the laws of a democratic society.
Then now notice he contrasted that Hoyle is about the right way, doing things correctly, and then, of course, number 2 is going to say with this phony council, according to the laws of a democratic society. And so it's real democratic. It's completely controlled by one individual, number 1, a dictator, and you never see him because number 2's always in charge. And that's number 2, straight ahead. And you can see the empty chair, the throne chair. Remember, the devil wants the throne chair off of God. And that is clear from Isaiah chapter 14.
These are designed for the protection of the citizens. You are a civilized man and would not, I'm sure, deny the right of proper procedure. Kindly approach the center desk. The final resolution of this outgoing council is the vote of thanks in number 6. It's carried unanimously, and there is no further business at this time.
Any questions?
Certainly.
Where'd you get this bunch of tailor's dummies?
They were here when I arrived. Do you wish to question them?
I do.
Proceed.
Who do you represent? Who elected you?
To what place or country do you owe allegiance? Whose side are you on?
Mustn't get too personal, my dear fellow.
It kind of represents the whole system of power, the whole legal system, the whole corporate system, and anybody that's trying to investigate or get answers, it doesn't please the ones who are in power. That's what he says, don't get too personal. Notice how the throne is behind number 2, meaning number 1 sits on that throne. And it's got the all-seeing eye embedded in it, and it's got the triangle.
Any further questions?
This farce. This 20th century Bastille that pretends to be a pocket democracy.
How do you love these phrases? Wow, this 20th century Bastille. This farce that pretends to be a pocket democracy. That describes America. And this was aimed primarily at Great Britain in the years 1967.
Why don't you put us all into solitary confinement till you get what you're after and have done with it?
That's enough! I call this meeting to order!
Look at them. Brainwashed imbeciles. Can you laugh? Can you cry? Can you think?
And notice how that comment applies today to folks around you. Can you laugh? Can you cry? Can you have real life? And most of all, can you actually think on your own power? Now, he's going to hold up the newspaper, and I like to call it a noose paper, like a noose, a hangman's noose around your neck, because it cuts off your air. It strangles you. It brings death in your life. It's always a false witness to death, as Dave J. would say, okay? So here you got this newspaper, a noose around his neck, and he's trying to reveal that it's all a farce. He didn't say a word to the press, and yet they published this front page article about all his thoughts and his beliefs.
Is this what they did to you? Is this how they tried to break you till they got what they were after? In your heads must still be the remnant of a brain. In your hearts must still be the desire to be a human being again.
Okay, now once again, back to the whole idea of control through sonic waves, through electrical impulses, through frequencies. What's the frequency, Kenneth? I've done some videos on that. Okay? That there's certain frequencies that are in the air that bring about a state of bliss for people, and also a state of sedation to just cooperate with the entire hoax lie system. And so he's hearing these frequencies because they're trying to bring his mind under control. Just be a good boy. Just be a controlled opposition. Stop asking these questions.
This is a most serious breach of etiquette. I'd imagine your desire to stand for election was genuine. Personally, I'm prepared to give you the benefit of the doubt. I believe that you're carried away by an excess of enthusiasm. Nevertheless, the rules demand that you should undergo the test. All those in favor, carried unanimously.
Okay, now the swirling around might be indicative of trying to get him into a deep state of subconsciousness, to reach his subconscious so that he can be controlled. A lot like when you go around in circles and you get dizzy and you don't feel so well and you just sort of pass out and you just go blah. I don't care, anybody can do anything they want to me. Once again, the frequencies controlling the population with frequencies. Cell phone towers are more than just cell phone towers. This was kind of an interesting transition from the council to undergoing the tests. And it reminds me of traveling on a bus or a subway system, and especially if you ever had to stand on a bus or stand on a subway system. You have those little rings to hold on to. And it just kind of built that way, the set. Meaning that he's traveling to another location, and the red is certainly a color of passion. And if you understand the usage of colors in Hope's Life system, you've got the red, which is passion, and then you've got the blue, which is kind of like the law or the legal presented to you, or the story. Then you combine them together and you get the purple, which is the submission to the whole thing. So it's in a soft glow red. They want his passions. They want his emotions.
They told me you were coming. Do you take sugar? In case you're feeling violent, please let me assure you that I could be a friend.
Friend?
Yes, indeed. You know they are watching. I know it. It does not prove that you or I are sympathetic. But the community has to live. So must you. Come, have some tea and we'll talk. How many lumps?
No lumps.
You don't take sugar? Good. That shows discipline for a start. Of course, I knew it anyway.
What's that?
From your records, we have everything. Gave up sugar 4 years and 3 months ago on medical advice. That shows you're afraid.
What?
You're afraid of death.
You're afraid of nothing.
You are afraid of yourself. You are aware of that. Good, you are honest. That is of use here. Honesty attracts confidence, and confidences are the core of our business. See how honest I'm being with you.
Very good technique. Where did you get it?
Into the civil service. Adapted immediately.
Okay, it's just a technique to get him into conformity. It's kind of like sending him away to a propaganda camp.
Number 2 here. Sorry, but things got out of hand. I'm aware that he's valuable to us, but I couldn't risk the entire project falling apart. Certainly I'll be more careful. But he's a very stubborn customer.
Notice how he referred to number 6 as a customer. Because the system is all about one thing: money. And the Bible substantiates this when the Bible says to you and to me, the love of money is the root of all evil. In other words, they love their system of control because it makes them extremely wealthy in this life. And so number 6 is nothing more than a customer in a store. And they want every penny out of him, like they want every penny out of me and out of you.
Yes, right away. Certainly I warned them not to damage the tissue.
Yes? Oh, yes, indeed. First stage only. Oh, absolutely. Clearly understood.
Okay, when he says first stage, that could be a reference to the whole idea of the subconscious. because you talk about sleep in stages, going into your subconscious, and you also talk about hypnosis in terms of stages. And hypnos is the strong man. And if you've seen some of my other videos, I identify his brother, Thanatos, Death. They're twins. And that's why that the number one thing about the hoax-lie system is that it is constantly false witnessing to death. Because hypnos and Thanatos work together. The hypnosis and then the death. Those two go together. So this is probably about bringing number 6 into a full hypnotic state, at least for the election, so they have their controlled candidate. Now there might have been some drugs in the tea. All right, so usually it's a combination of things: drugs, lights, sound, words, and so forth. So that might have been what was done there with the tea, some type of hallucinogenic drug. Now you might say that was like a taser. He got tasered. Just stay in the chair.
This is merely the truth test, and there's no need to be alarmed. Why did you wish to run for electoral office? Why did you wish to run for electoral office? That is a lie. But
Okay, now notice how he didn't speak. So somehow their electronic gizmos are tied into the thought process. And that is where there's so much danger with this whole hoax-lie system, is in the mind. Okay? And the Bible tells you to take every thought captive to Christ. And the Bible tells you to protect your mind.